In this lesson, we look at cumulative frequency curve, which is also known as Ogive, and how do we plot the cumulative frequency curve, otherwise called Ogive. A question that borders on Ogive or cumulative frequency curve. It is usually the plotting of the class boundary against the cumulative frequency, or the cumulative frequency against the class boundary. Let me put it that way. So this example one here, explaining better. He said the table below shows the frequency distribution of marks scored by 800 students in the physics test. We have 10 to 19, 20 to 39, 30 to 39, and so on and so forth. But to construct a cumulative frequency table, use the table to draw the Ogive, and then use your Ogive to determine the interquartile range, the 70th percentile, and the median. Before we can do anything, we need to construct a table that will reflect all the things that we need. To plot the Ogive, we need only two items, the class boundaries, and then the cumulative frequency. So let's construct that table. What I have here is intervals. So I'm going to turn those intervals to class boundary. And let me put it first, max, and the class boundary, which is what we need to calculate to plot the Ogive. We also need the cumulative frequency, but before that, let's get the frequency. It's from the frequency that will get cumulative frequency. So the first interval is 10 to 19. 10 to 19, the class boundary there will be 9.5 to 19.5. Next one is 20 to 29. 29. The class boundary will be 19.5 to 29.5. The next one is the boundary will be 29.5 to 39.5. The next one is 40 to 49. Let me put all the interval first. Then 50 to 59, 50 to 69, 70 to 79, 80 to 89, and then 90 to 99. So here now I have the interval here with 39.5, the boundary rather, to 49.5. Here will be 49.5 to 59.5. Here will be 59.5 to 69.5. And we have 69.5 to 79.5, 79.5, and 79.5 to 89.5, 89.5, 99.5. So the first one is 35, the second is 85, the third is 150, 130, 105, 120, 30, 35, and the cumulative. We get the cumulative by adding the frequency to the preceding one. Nothing comes before 35, so the cumulative of that one still remains as 35. However, the next one will be 85 plus 35, 120. And 150 plus 120 is 270. 130 plus 270 is 400. And 105 plus 400 is 505. 120 plus 505 is 675. 675 plus 30 is 705. 35 plus 705 is 740. And finally, 740 plus 60, 800. Remember that the cumulative frequency, the final number must agree with the total number of scores. The question says, the table below shows the frequency distribution of mass scored by 800 students. So our cumulative is 800, which agree with what we have in the question. Okay, now we know the cumulative frequency, we know the class boundary. We can now construct or plot the Ogive, which is the plotting of the cumulative frequency against the upper limit of the class boundary. So we are going to locate the upper limit of the class boundary against each of these cumulative frequency. And remember that nothing comes before this first row here, which means we have a 0 there. Let me put 0 there since our Ogive must start from 0. So for anything less than, let me put less than 9.5, 9.5. And this is a class boundary. Any score less than 9.5 is 0. We don't have anything that is less than 9.5 in our data here. The highest is 10 to 19 rather. That is the first range there. So anything less than that is 0. We are putting that because the OG must start from, the line must start from 0. So let's bring our graph down here. Okay, so here is our graph sheet prepared for the Ogive. Now the question is, how do we choose a scale that will accommodate these items we have in the cumulative frequency? Remember that to plot an Ogive, we put the cumulative frequency on the y-axis and the class boundary on the x-axis. So on the y-axis, I have items from 35 to 800. So let me use a scale of 2 centimeter to 100 units. Remember, for a wire graph, a standard wire graph, the distance between this bold line and another bold line is 2 centimeter. So if I say 2 centimeter to 100 units, that means the first line, this line is 0, this one will be 100, 100, this will be 200, this will be 300, this will be 400, this will be 500, this will be 600, this will be 700, and then finally 800. On the x-axis, we are plotting the class boundary, the upper limit of the class boundary. And I have up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This big line here, they are not up to 9. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They are not up to 9. So instead of using one big line to another big line, let me use three small boxes here to represent each item. Let me see, or let me use 4 to make it bold enough or wide enough. So my first item there is 19.5 also. Yeah, 19.5, and my cumulative frequency there is 35. So 19.5, I'm using 4 boxes to represent each item. 1, 2, 3, 4. 19.5. And the cumulative is 35. Remember, in the middle here will be 50, since from here to here is 100. So middle here will be 50. 5 should be somewhere here. So let me put it here. Let me remove the first one. 35 should be 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm using 4 lines. 35 should be somewhere here. It's a rough estimate I am doing. And the next item, let me write my 19.5 first. I think this my marker is too bold. Let me reduce the width. 19.5 for the first item. And the second item is 29.5. And I'll count another 4 boxes again. Remember, my class width is the same for each data. So let's count another 4 boxes again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We are right here. That is 29.5. 29.5. And what is the cumulative frequency there? Cumulative frequency there is 120. Let's trace that place to 120. 120. This is 100. 120 should be somewhere here. Remember the middle here is 150. So let's assume 120 is here. Let's assume 120 is there. Then the next one is 39.5. And the value, the cumulative is 270. 39.5. Again, I will count 4 boxes again from where I stopped. Remember my class width is the same. That's why I'm counting. I'm using 4 boxes for each item. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is my 39.5. 39.5. Then what was my cumulative frequency there? 270. I'll go and locate 270. Let's assume 270 somewhere here. And just put it there. Then the next one is 49.5. 49.5. Again, I'll count 4 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are right here. 49.5. Then what was the cumulative frequency? I think it's 400. Yes, 400. So let's trace that line to 400. 400 is right here. Put a man there. Then the next item is 59.5. 59.5. Let's count 4 boxes again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 59.5 is right here. 59.5. Then what was the cumulative frequency? 505. 505. Here is 500. Let's assume 505 is somewhere here. We have the next one is 69.5. 69.5. We count 4 boxes again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here. 69.5. What was the cumulative? The cumulative is 675, rather. 675. Trace that line to, this is 600. Middle is 650. 675 should be close to this, which then around this place here. That to be. Then the next one is 79.5. 79.5. Let's count another 4 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 79.5. The cumulative frequency there was 705. 705. We'll trace that to 705. This is 7. This is 700. Let's assume 705 is there. Hope I put it in the right place. Yes. Then we'll have 89.5. 89.5. Count 4 boxes again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here. 89.5. What is the cumulative? 740. 740. Trace that line to 740. 740. In between is 750. So let's assume 740 is here. Excuse me. Let's assume this is 740. And then finally, so I put it at the wrong place. See the line here. 740. Let me trace the line. The line here, 999. Let's assume 740 somewhere. And finally, We have 99.5, which is 800. Unfortunately, this last line is not up to 4. It's only 3. 1, 2, 3. So the fourth one should be outside. But you have idea what we are doing. The 800. Let me assume the line is somewhere here. That is too far. Graph book is not enough. Let me put it somewhere. So having drawn put all these points, we're going to use a line to join all the points together, starting from 0, from the origin. Let's try and get it perfectly. I miss I miss that again. Let me bold in my marker. I missed that. Oh, I missed that. Something like that. That is the Ogive for this distribution. Now the question that follows, where are the questions? The question is, construct a cumulative frequency table. That's A, which we have just done, and is here already. Then B, say draw the Ogive, which we have just done. Then C, use your Ogive to determine the interquartile range. The interquartile range. How do we determine interquartile range from an Ogive? Remember that interquartile range is the difference between the upper quartile and the lower quartile. So we need to determine the upper and the lower quartile from this graph. Interquartile range, interquartile range is Q3, the upper quartile, minus Q1, the lower quartile. Now Q3 is 75% of the score, while Q1 is 25% of the score. So how do we get that from? Remember that our total cumulative frequency is 800. So 25% of that will give us the lower quartile Q1. Q1 is 25% of 800, or 1 over 4 times 800, while the upper quartile Q3 is 75%, which is 3 over 4 times 800. Then 1 over 4 times 800 is 200. While 3 over 4 times 800 is 600. So we locate 200 and 600 on the graph, trace it until we touch the curve. Then we trace where we touch the curve to the class boundary. Remember that the y-axis is cumulative frequency, and the x-axis is the class boundary. Here is a class boundary. So now we can get our lower and upper quartile from that. The lower quartile is at 200 cumulative. So place your ruler at 200, and with dotted line, trace it until you touch the curve. Let me do that here. Okay, I touch the curve at that point. Then you get a vertical ruler to avoid rotating ruler from time to time. Then that point where I touch the curve, I will trace it to my class boundary. And I'll read it. Each box is 2.5. So 2.5 plus 2.5, that is 5. 5 plus 29, that is 34.5. So my lower quartile, Q1, is 34.5. My Q3, that is the upper quartile. Again, I will place my ruler at 600 and trace it until I touch the curve. So I touch the curve at that point. Now with ruler drawn vertically now, placed vertically rather. I'll trace that very point to x-axis. I read out where did I meet that. Look at where my line touch the x-axis. And remember that each of my bars is 2.5. So 2.5 plus 2.5, that is 5. 5 plus 59.5 is 64.5. So my upper quartile Q3 is Q1 is 64.5. Therefore, the interquartile range, which is Q3 minus Q1, will be 64.5 minus 34.5, which is 30. Okay, having done the interquartile range, let's move on to the second question, which is the 70th percentile. The 70th percentile, remember percentile is out of 100, so 70th percentile will be 70 over 100 times the total cumulative frequency, which is 800. 0 is not 0, 7 times 8. So we will now place the ruler at 560 and trace it to the curve. This is 500, 520, 540, 560 is right here. So trace it down to the curve. Okay. So we have that place where we meet the curve, we trace it down to x-axis. That's the rough one, that's not perfect, but you have an idea what I'm doing. Remember that each of these small balls is 2.5. So if this is 59.5, 59.5 plus 2.5 will give us 52. Okay? The 70th percentile is 62. And finally, the median. The median is 50% of the score. And 50% of 800, which is our cumulative, the total cumulative is 800. 50% of 800 is 400. So place the ruler at the 400 mark, and trace it to the curve. Where the line meets the curve, we trace it to x axis. That is the rough work I'm doing now. Cleaning. I'm rushing. So, between this line and the next line. Remember that each of these bars is 2.5. But what I have here is in between that 2.5. So let's say 3. Now 3 plus 49.5 is 42.5. 42.5 is my median. Median is 42.5. That brings us to the end of this very quick